Taylor Cocke here for Yahoo Esports. I am with LemonNation, the coach of Cloud9. LemonNation, how are you feeling after that win today?
It was very clean. It was very good for us, so I'm happy.
Is that sort of clean victory something that's going to give you a lot of confidence going into the playoffs? Because it seems like a lot of teams are really focusing on making sure that their mentality is right for the playoff system or the playoff picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to help out just coming into tomorrow because we possibly have 2 games tomorrow that we have to beat, and they're both very difficult.
Who do you have tomorrow? Like who are the teams that you're sort of scared of tomorrow? Because like obviously, like you said, there's a possibility of a tiebreaker.
We play Team Liquid tomorrow, and assuming we beat them and CLG should beat their matchup, then we play CLG. So we're playing. I think both Team Liquid and CLG are very solidly top 4 with us and Immortals. So we have to basically prove that we're better than them, and I'm not sure if we are. Like they both have been looking really good lately.
So usually when you're preparing for multiple games in a day, you're preparing for best of 3s. But this is a situation where you're preparing for a potential best of 2, or two best of 1s, I should say. And they are 2 very different teams. How do you prepare for that sort of thing, especially because, like I said, they're 2 very different stylistic teams?
Well, first off, we just prepare for Team Liquid, and then we have time where we can actually get to watch CLG and prepare for them while we're watching them, so that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice being the first game tomorrow and then CLG being the second game. It kind of gives us more time to prepare, and it's just nicer that way. It works out well, yeah.
But it also gives you an opportunity to sort of respond to what they're doing in that particular day. But it also doesn't give it a whole lot of time to really sink in, sort of like what their strategies are. You don't really even have time to like look at jungle pathing or anything like that. How do you respond quickly to a team that may be pulling out a new strategy on the last day of the season?
I mean, they can't have that many strategies. They've already played 2 games this weekend. I'm pretty sure they won't have a hidden strategy just for the tiebreaker. I think that'd be a bit much since it's not even possible. Like, it's possible that we just lose Team Liquid. They don't even have to play a tiebreaker. So I think we'll just play our game as best we can and show, hopefully, that we're the better team.
So looking forward into the playoffs, have you guys even started like really considering what might be happening there, or have you sort of been focusing on it just this week?
We definitely have, because if we get the second place, then we have a nice 2-week break. We don't have to worry too much. But if we end up third, which is very possible, then we have to play, I think. Well, actually, it's kind of weird if we end up third, because it's either Energy, Team Liquid, or TSM can all end up 6th, and they'd be the people we play. I think no matter what, we should be able to beat that 6th place team and be in a good situation where we just have to beat CLG again if we lose to them. So it's kind of I think it's going to come down to really if we can just be the better team than CLG if we're going to actually end up in versus probably Immortals in the finals. Yeah.
So you guys had a bit of a rocky start, especially with the high bunny situation, but it have really settled out now that high sort of settled into the role for the time being. How do you carry that momentum into the playoffs? Because it does seem like that, like I said earlier, like there has to be this strong mentality going into the playoffs, especially with all the all these teams having sports psychologists and that sort of thing.
Well, it's also quite nice now that we're going into like best of 5s or best of 3s for the playoffs, and having Bunny as like a backup and a possibility of having other picks and like pocket picks to throw them in is actually quite nice. Because right now how it works, you have to decide like 24 hours or 3 days earlier, depending on which day you're playing, Saturday or Sunday, of who you're going to play. But when it's a best of 3 or best of 5, you can just throw them in like to catch your opponent off guard or to give your team some more like momentum,
So what you're saying is Bunny has some secret pocket picks that he's been working on.
I'm just saying it's an advantage that can be used. Yeah.
All right, Lemon, thank you so much for talking to me today. For Yahoo Esports, this is Taylor Cocke.